Welcome back, everybody. It's Umbraco Community Day, and we are back with another panel discussion, this time on meetups, a topic very close to my heart. But we've got 4 fantastic individuals joining us who are responsible for some of the best and fastest growing meetups all over the world. Let's welcome our guests. Fantastic. Look at that.
Hello.
Hello, everybody. So, you know what? There's so many people here. I'm going to let you all introduce yourselves. Go around, say hello, say the meetup group you're a part of, or what you're doing in the community, and then let's dive in. I don't know who to start with. Anyone want to go? Go on, Phil.
Yeah, so my name is Phil Whittaker. I help to run the Umbraco Manchester and the Umbraco Leeds meetup. And yeah, we regularly get quite a lot of people at our meetup, and we're really proud of the things that it's done in the last couple of years.
Yeah, I think Manchester and the Leeds group have been, or the work you've been doing, Phil, at least, is a model for a lot of other meetups. So I'm very keen to hear some of your tips and tricks.
And a great article as well in 24 days.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you very much.
Anyway, who's next?
Oh,
Go on, Dhanesh.
Yeah, so myself Dhanesh, so I'm a software engineer working in Faces India. So I am the co-organizer of the Kerala Umbraco user group, and yeah, it's a successful user group. We just started, and we are continually, organizing the sessions, and it's going amazing. So yeah, so that's it from my.
Maybe we hear from your co-host Andrew as well.
Exactly, Anju.
Anju?
hi. Uh, I'm Anju, the event organizer for the Kerala Umbraco user group. I'm currently a software engineer at Faces India. Thank you for this opportunity to attend this fantastic event.
Fantastic. I think your video is frozen, unfortunately. I guess we'll let our technical wizards behind the scenes have a little look at that, but hopefully we can get you back. And finally, last but not least, Kat.
Hello, so I'm Todd. I am a project manager at Jive Digital, and I've recently started helping out with Bristol, and I'm also involved in organising Umbraco Spark as well.
Indeed you are. Fantastic. So 4 great meetup organisers from very different parts of the world, and with very different approaches to meetups, which is sort of why we've assembled you as a group. That's what we want to dive into. So just to go around very quickly, my understanding is, Phil, Manchester and Leeds. Manchester, you're hosting every other month, is that right? With a in-person meetup and talks?
No, it's every month we're
Monthly.
hosting them.
Wow.
So usually Umbraco Leeds is the first Thursday of the month, and Umbraco Manchester floats around a little bit, but it's usually towards the end of the month.
If I recall, did you used to have a collaboration with the Umbraco meetup where you're alternating? Is that what I've misremembered?
The Manchester side, yeah, we had a collaboration with them, but that's generally when we were doing more virtual meetups because we didn't want to take up all the airtime.
Gotcha. Yeah, makes sense. And those meetups you're hosting monthly, are those in-person talks, or are they workshops, socials? What's the mix like?
So everything really. So we have talks, probably mostly talks. We have lightning events as well, lightning talk events. We have socials. We've just had a social in collaboration with the .NET North meetup group as well, which is very good. And we also have discussions, and we tend to say they're collaborative sort of discussion panels almost, where we talk through a subject matter and then we open it up to the floor, and those usually go on for about 90 minutes.
Fantastic. Okay, Dhanesh, Andrew, maybe you can introduce us to the Kerala user group and what you do, what formats you follow.
Yeah, so so as I said, I'm the co-organizer of Umbraco, the Kerala Umbraco user group. So when we started the the Kerala Umbraco user group, the main intention is we need to continue the session. So that's the promise we give at the kickoff meeting. I think we still continuing that promise, and we are happy to that, happy for that actually. So for every month we are conducting these these sessions actually in the second week of every month. So today we have the sessions on the Umbraco Headless series actually. So we basically we are not taking the individual sections. What we are currently doing is like we are actually planning a series. So in that way it has multiple sessions. So we have a continuity. So we can give more informations, and it would be more engaging to the audiences of of our sessions actually. So we are continuing in that way actually. Yes.
Fantastic. And these are held virtually, is that correct, on Teams?
Yeah, virtual, yeah.
And am I right in saying you have a YouTube channel as well that you put the recordings of your meetups on?
Exactly. As of now, we are a little bit busy, so we can't upload, the each sections. But yeah, we need to do that actually. Yeah, we have.
Amazing. So very different to what Phil just described there, which is a good mix of different formats and topics, a lot of in-person focus, whereas you've got more of a learning pathway that you're taking people through and content. How regular are those meetups? Sorry, I don't think I caught that.
It's on every second Wednesday of every month. Yeah.
Wow, so it's even more frequent as well than most of the meetups, at least we've got in the UK. That's really interesting. I want to dive into that a bit more. Kat, you're involved in the Bristol meetup. The Umbraco Bristol meetup has been going. It's one of the longest, if not the longest meetup, I think, actually, in the world for Umbraco, that is. So what's your involvement there?
So I started getting involved just after Code Garden. I think just to kind of help keep things moving, really. So we tend to have like monthly catch-ups, and the format is probably similar to Phil in a way, where we'll have talks every month, and then every few months we'll try and have a social as well. But yeah, the topics are very varied, and we're also trying to focus on kind of wider topics at the moment, accessibility, day in the life of a QA tester and things like that. So it kind of brings more people to these meetups rather than just developers as well. So that's something we're also trying to focus on. But yeah, so my role is very much just kind of bringing the team together to make sure we're organising those talks and making sure it happens.
Exciting, because the Umbraco Bristol meetup, I'm sure people won't mind me saying, I'm from Bristol originally. It was my first introduction to the community aspect of Umbraco, and it used to be a thriving meetup group with monthly talks, and it was excellent. And over time, I guess there's not really been a strong team behind it at times, and it's sort of dropped off at times, and it's got picked back up when people are really motivated, and then with COVID it sort of stopped again. It's great to see in recent months you've again picked that up. You did a meetup on a boat in the last month, didn't you? You've done variety of talks pretty much every month now, so it's great to see it back on that original trend that it was following before. So
yeah, I think there's definitely a lot more interest in people getting involved, and I think also having those wider topics means we can get other types of people involved, so it brings a whole different audience as well, which is I think what we need, because yeah, like you say, there has been a drop off over the last few years, so anything we can do to bring in more people is really important.
Absolutely. So bringing in new people is something I think Phil is possibly the expert in this group. Maybe, Phil, you can talk just for a couple of minutes about the great work that you've been doing in the Manchester area to try and raise awareness for the meetup and bring some fresh blood in.
Yeah, so after COVID, we had a great response in COVID when we were virtual, and then after that we went back to in person, and we struggled a little bit in terms of numbers. So I started organising to go out to organisations and start an outreach programme. So we contact companies that do Umbraco, or we do talks at Umbraco events where we're introducing what we do, and then we make contacts there, and then we go into these companies and we say to them, this is what we do, this is how we work, these are the types of talks that we do, this is who we are, because primarily what we're interested in doing is making sure that people didn't come to the events not knowing anybody, because that's one of the biggest drivers to stop people from coming along, is that nervousness around it. And we wanted to make sure that people realised that it was such a friendly environment where everybody can get involved, and everybody can get something from it. So yeah, really that's the path that we've taken, and it's worked incredibly well. And we now have people travelling from all over the northwest of England to come to our meetups, usually sometimes up to an hour, which is great.
That's fantastic. So you're actually actively going out, talking to the companies that are potentially your target audience, trying to engage them, trying to get them involved to come along. They maybe didn't even know the meetup existed before that point.
I did a meetup, a talk at an Umbraco event, and I had somebody come up to me and they said they didn't realise there was an Umbraco community. So it's
I mean, for people inside, that feels so alien, doesn't it? But I guess we are maybe living in a bubble here. That It's very easy to overlook these things.
It is very easy to overlook, and it's only by going out there and talking to people that you can put all the great work that everybody does out there for everybody to see.
Fantastic. Team Kerala, how have you attracted new people to your meetups? Again, very different format, perhaps more accessible to people, so they can join online from the comfort of their home or on their lunch break. I'm not sure what time you host them in the day. How are you trying to bring new people into the meetup groups and the community?
Yeah, so one of the main advantage, as you said, it's a virtual meeting, so anyone can join and from anywhere. So that's the one of the main advantage. And the second thing is like we mainly, we have a fixed time that is on evening 4 o'clock to 5 o'clock. It's a 1 hour session most of the time. So in India, most of that in that time it's a snack time or tea time, so they can easily join. So that's why we choose that time actually. And the third point is like we are not taking much big sessions. Actually, we are start from very small sessions, so everyone can join actually. If it's a new Umbraco developer, if someone from .NET, they don't know Umbraco, they can also join. They can also learn from us, so that's a great opportunity for them as well. So it's a win-win strategy for us and for them. So that's what we are still focusing. And yeah.
How are you promoting the meetup group? Because are you just targeting, say, Kerala, the wider region, or are you trying to target all of India, given that it's virtual?
Actually, we are targeting all over the India. The name just the Kerala Umbraco user group, but we have audience from different states actually. Mainly we are marketing this using the platform like LinkedIn. Actually, we are mainly using LinkedIn and Twitter for that. And yeah, that's the main medium for marketing for this year. And also we have YouTube channels, and we have some tech Telegram and WhatsApp groups. So we sharing those contents and those meetup information there as well. So they can also join. Yeah.
That's fantastic. Kat, I think the Bristol meetup's fairly unique in that it's got a Slack group actually, not just a channel in someone else's tenant, but it's actually they have their own Slack community. So what are the ways that the Bristol team are working to grow and attract new people, other than the varied content that you mentioned?
Yeah, so something we've been looking at more recently is kind of working with other meetup groups or doing kind of a crossover sessions and things like that. So that's something that will be coming up next year. So that's something that's really helped. And I think similar things to what's already been said, just around making those sessions earlier on in the day. So I think they used to be a lot later in the evening. So people having to hang around after work and probably feeling like they'd rather just go home. So, starting a little bit earlier, offering free food as well also helps to make sure that everyone's kind of well fed to get them through the sessions. But yeah, that's kind of the areas that we've been focusing on and we'll be focusing on next year.
Exciting. You mentioned free food. Someone's got to pay for that. I know that, having hosted meetups and organized my own. But more broadly, how do you get support from your own company or from other companies in your community for this meetup group? And what are the challenges you might face there?
So I think there's quite a lot of different agencies that work with Bristol. There's lots of people from different agencies and they're always willing to get involved, but it is something we're focusing on in terms of getting specific sponsors for different events. But like you say, it can be a challenge, but so far we have been quite fortunate in people wanting to get involved, so that's been really lucky so far. But yeah, so that's kind of how things have been going.
Okay, so you're just hitting up local companies saying, would you like to get involved? What's the sales pitch for them? What's the motivation to say, oh, you should buy us some pizzas or send a speaker?
Yeah. I guess it's
group?
kind of the visibility of their agency in front of all the different developers, recruitment opportunities, and it's a good opportunity for anybody that works with them to experience what Umbraco has to offer and what other people are doing and all the innovative things that they're doing. And it might not just be surrounding Umbraco as well. So there's lots of different things people can learn from accessibility tools to QA and things like that. So it's not just for developers. So I think that's something that always encourages our sponsors to get involved.
Exciting. Phil, I could see you nodding a lot there. Maybe you have something to add on that point?
Yeah, so where we are, we're very lucky. Well, in Manchester, we're very lucky with the number of hosts that we've got. Not just Umbraco agencies as well. We're lucky in that Auto Trader They host our events a couple of times a year, and they're amazing. And also with another company called Bright HR, which hosts for us as well. And it's interesting that they want to do it because they want to be seen as part of the local technical community. So they host other events for .NET North or for other types of.
So they've got no connection to Umbraco other than just wanting to support.
Yeah, and it's great to see, especially in a large city like Manchester is. Yeah.
Oh, that's incredible. Again, for the both of you, Kat and Phil, my understanding is that behind the user groups you're a part of, there's not one company or one individual, it's a diverse group of people. So can you talk a little bit about how your organizational structure is made up?
Yeah, so I'll go first if that's all right. So yeah, that's really important. I think that's really key. When I gave my talk at UK Fest recently, that was one of the first slides I did. Your team is your core, and we have a rule that it needs to be in our organisation, it needs to be developer, because we see it as a pathway to Umbraco MVP, hopefully. And there can only be one person from one organisation, which makes it fair and means that not one organisation takes up the meetup. And we usually have 3 to 5 people that are helping to organise that, and that enables us to share the load. So I've been really busy the last 3 months, and my other team members have managed to help me. Rachel and John have managed to help me, and then that works on the other side in Leeds as well with Ali and Ollie and all the other people who've got involved in the meetup.
Fantastic. Kat, my understanding in Bristol is it's a little bit, well, it's more like a committee. There's less, it's just a lot of people that are willing to help and people kind of put their hands up. Is that fair?
Yeah, no, I think we've implemented a bit more structure recently, but there does tend to be, I guess it depends on availability, but we do have some core people that are involved in the monthly meetings and are involved in hosting and organising the sessions, but it's very much a team effort. Similar to Phil, if somebody's busier than another, then everyone will lend a hand and make sure things happen and take place. So but yeah, just having those kind of monthly sessions, setting those actions and contact reports and things like that, and making sure things happen is just really important, just to keep things flowing and make sure we're thinking ahead and not just at the next month. And we're all kind of talking to different developers and different people at different times, so we've always got new ideas to add as to what we could be exploring in a future session.
You just mentioned the words contact report in the context
well,
of meetups. It sounds
probably a bit
awfully
formal then. That's my
formal.
project manager. That's my project manager. But I guess just detailing kind of what was discussed and actions. So we're all busy in our day to day. So just coming back to what did we talk about? What did I offer to help out with? And just revisiting those in our next sessions so we can so we know what's ahead basically.
I think we may all wish we had a kind of project manager brain in our teams, a bit like you. I can give some context for the Umbraco London meetup. At least myself, Ravi, and Lottie organise that one. We do alternate months. It's someone else's responsibility, so we sort of sit down, have a somewhat boozy lunch or dinner, maybe twice a year, and plan out what the next 6-12 months looks like. Allocate things. Lottie scribbles some stuff down in a notebook, and then sometimes it gets forgotten about. So yeah, sometimes a bit of structure would be good. The reason I was asking this is because it sounds like Team Kerala, you have a slightly different makeup. Both of you are from Phases. Andrew, maybe you can tell us a little bit about the structure, how you go into planning the events, who's responsible for what. Is your company supporting you with this, encouraging you to do it, giving you company time, etc.?
Yes.
So yeah, Angie.
Yeah, the company definitely supporting us, and actually we are focusing, making our sessions not only informative but also interactive. Actually, we are planning to share this knowledge beyond Kerala and expand our reach to the entire nation. Actually, we look forward to expanding our community and exploring more exciting topics together. Yeah.
Amazing. So is there something that Phases has asked you to do to run the meetup? Is it giving you time in work to make that happen?
Yes.
Amazing. And so
they'll give time.
And so
yes,
is there a team of you responsible?
Yeah, exactly. The faces itself giving, the time, and they are actually giving the entire management is giving the motivation to take the sessions and organizing the session. It's not us like me and Anju is not only there. There are other colleagues also. There are other wonderful pillars for this, organizing and taking the session. I need to name those peoples actually because they are the real, the real people to run along with us actually. So one is our
Heroes.
CTO itself, that's Mohammed Ansar, and the second one is Girish, and the third is Jinu, and fourth one is Diljit. These are actually our colleagues, and these peoples are actually the other pillars of the Umbraco user group, the Kerala Umbraco user group, actually. Yeah.
Amazing. It's good to see here that, I mean, I think this is a common theme. Everyone is, helping each other, working together to make these meetup groups as successful as possible. How are you going about finding speakers with your fairly unique and more pathway-based setup? Are they usually internal to phases? Do you get external speakers occasionally?
So of now we don't get any external speakers. Actually, most of the speakers and hosting peoples are actually from Faces itself. Or most of us are colleagues actually. So, but we are actually planning for connecting or contacting with or collaborating with other tech agencies from India. Actually, there are lots of other companies who are doing Umbraco. They're interested in Umbraco. So we need to contact them and we need to collaborate so we can create more informative content on big topic on top of Umbraco. So we are actually planning for that.
Yeah, we had Nikhil on earlier, who's from the Gujarat region and in India, and he's obviously very passionate about Umbraco. I know there's a hugely popular Umbraco Navi Mumbai meetup group that again was running, I think, even at one point weekly online sessions, which again, phenomenal, amazing. It's great, but it's a big country. It's hard to connect people. If you're all doing virtual stuff, it would be awesome to see more collaboration there, I'm sure.
I think I attended the first Kerala user group because I am from Kerala, so just wanted to see what's happening. Yeah, I want to see what's happening there. So I was amazed to see people joining from other parts of India as well. Like wow, they have really done well. But all in all, we have three different, we have people representing three different meetup groups from across the world and very, very three different approaches.
Yeah, indeed. Phil, how are you finding new fresh speakers? I think you've done a very good job of having some of I would argue some of the best talks I've seen at conferences in maybe the past year or so have actually originated as meetup talks, especially in Manchester. I'm thinking things like the Strangler Fig pattern one from Pritesh and Adam. I'm thinking Rachel's talk that she gave today, of course. You've birthed a lot of great speakers. So what's your secret? How are you finding them?
Okay, so I think we do have people coming to us quite regularly and saying they want to come and practice their talks, and we're open to that. We really want that to happen because it's a great way to get feedback before you go into that bigger environment. But we're also interested in trying to develop talent and help people to start speaking internally. So the approach that we take from that, or that I took from the start when we had not many people coming, was to speak a lot at these events to show that how easy it is to do. And I would go along and give a 10-minute talk, a short talk after the main talk, which probably wasn't the best of prepared talks, so that they could see that stumbling over words, having the slides in the wrong order, all of those things really didn't matter at all. It's about creating a really nice, kind, caring environment for people to take that step into public speaking. And then we'll host things like we had a lightning talk session earlier in the year at Manchester, and we had all people from the local community all come and give talks, and some were junior developers, some were at higher level and at director level. Some of the people that were talking, and they're all quite nervous, but the environment was very pleasant for them to give those talks out. So now I have people coming to me internally, and I'm booked up for a couple of months with people internally wanting to give talks, which is great.
That's the dream, not having to scramble around, last minute, find a guest and someone hastily put together a talk. Well prepared, people that are keen, have seen other people do it, and they want to do the exact same. That's a really great model to be based on. Kat, in Bristol, what's the process there? Because you're generally having 2 to 3 speakers sometimes at some of your talk events.
Yeah, so again, it can follow a similar format in terms of people doing their practice talks before some of the key conferences in the community. We'll also have volunteers from colleagues of those within the committee as well that are working on something interesting and want to share. I've in the recent got colleagues involved in doing a couple of talks, some of which that aren't familiar with doing talks before, so it's just getting them used to being in that environment, and like you say, it is a very friendly and accepting environment, so it's a good opportunity for them to do that. Also going out to other conferences, having been to Code Garden, organising Spark, we get to meet lots of different people and finding out about what they're working on and whether it would be suitable for a future Bristol talk. So just kind of reaching out to them and keeping contact with them to see what they're up to. But yeah, next year we are going to be looking at doing a crossover with .NET Southwest Meetup. So again, just widening those topics so that we can reach out to more people.
Exciting. It sounds like the key theme here really has been outreach, outreach, outreach. Talk to your community, find out what people are interested in, and plan around it as well. I think I'm very impressed at how well planned all 3 of the groups here we've spoken to are. Like you've got plans for many editions in advance. You've got a strong team behind you. You're all supporting each other. That sounds really awesome. We've only got a couple of minutes left. Maybe you could share some final wise words, key takeaways, some encouragement for someone that maybe is looking to get involved in a meetup group. Who should we start? Let's start with Phil.
Yeah, so I think the most important thing is to find your local community. So find your agencies and develop links to those people. Our meetup really started to take off when we started working with organisations like Nectar Digital and CTI Digital locally and Cantaris, and that really helped it move forward. And then when you have that, start talking to other organisers in the local area. We're now talking to Newcastle and we're talking to people to Liverpool to create a northern Umbraco group.
Amazing. So that would be a combined Manchester, Liverpool type group or another group?
Well, no, just to share speakers, to share ideas, to make sure that everybody can work together on it.
Bit of a coalition, alliance or something. That's very good. Yeah. Maybe the Kerala group, you can share some insight, wise words, anything that you want people watching from India to know. How can they get involved with your meetup group?
Yeah, so it's virtual, so it's anyone can join. That's the one of the main advantage. And currently we are just planning small topics on top of Umbraco, but we are planning to take much advanced topics. So the main intention, as I said in the the initial conversation itself, the consistency. So we are keeping that promise. We will definitely take those sessions in every month. So that is the the key takeaway from our session actually, and the publicity. So if we maintain the consistency and we are making the publicity in a good way, then definitely everyone can see what is happening in our in our Umbraco user group, and they can join and they can be more informative about Umbraco. Yeah.
Fantastic. Anju, anything to add to that?
Yeah, actually, we are after our all session completed, then will share the videos of that session through the YouTube. Then anyone is missed out, then they can watch later. So we'll do that.
Fantastic. So yeah, go check out the Kerala user group's YouTube channel for sure. And Kat, you get the last words. What do you want to say?
Yeah, I guess just want anyone listening or anyone that think they might want to join a Umbraco community, note that you don't have to be a developer. I hadn't been involved in the Umbraco community up until like a year ago, and I didn't think there was a place for me, but there is. The topics can be about anything. So yeah, just know that there will be similar people to you there, and just kind of reach out to someone you might know involved, and come along and see what it's like. And there's also the opportunity to have those socials that we do every 3 months. So it's just opportunities to get to know different people.
Yeah, I think you've been unfair on yourself there, Kat. You say you've not been involved in the community until a year ago. That's not true. You're the
Yeah.
organizer of Umbraco Spark, which is a fantastic event.
Yeah.
Tickets on sale right now, March 8th, Bristol.
I guess yeah, I guess deeper into the community in terms of Bristol, you get to know more about what's going on behind the scenes, whereas before it was very much kind of on the outside, organising something, but not really involved on the inside.
Well, I'd argue that as organisers, you are the backbone, at least, of your local communities. So, no, thank you, everybody, for your work. Thanks for joining us on this panel today. It's been really great to see you all. Great to hear about everything you're doing. Go check those people out if you don't know about their user groups. Of course, it's the Umbraco Manchester and the Umbraco Leeds group, the Bristol group, and the Kerala group, which is online, virtual, on YouTube, etc. as well. Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
Lovely to chat. We'll see you all later.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Okay. And that wraps up our panel. We are going to be back in a short couple of seconds, and we have a very special guest, Umbraco CTO, Philip.
Yes.
See you in a bit.